Hi everyone. In my last video, I have explained you how to identify whether the resistance are connected in series or parallel while looking into the circuit itself. And I have given you brief description how to reduce that bigger circuit into a smaller equivalent circuit. Now I am going to give a conclusion why we need to determine those equivalents. That is because of this Ohm's law only. So according to our Ohm's law, this Ohm's law is applicable to a simple circuit which is having single resistance. So to apply a Ohm's law in any kind of a complex circuit or larger circuit only, we need to apply a network reduction technique or circuit reduction technique. Where circuit reduction technique is another way called as converting a larger circuit into a simple single resistance circuit is called as a single equivalence. So I'll give you the description of how to determine the equivalence of the given circuit in the video description itself. So those who haven't watched that circuit reduction technique can go through and come back to this video so that you will get the continuation of learning the concepts. So we all know, according to Ohm's law, the Ohm's law is applicable to a closed circuit at a constant temperature for the steady current flow I, which is equal to voltage is directly proportional and resistance is inversely proportional. So I will repeat the Ohm's law once again. Ohm's law can be applicable in a closed circuit at a constant temperature. The steady current flows in the circuit. For that steady current, the voltage is directly proportional and resistance is inversely proportional. So for the simple circuit, this Ohm's law is directly applicable. But when you have a large number of circuits, instead of writing it as an R, here we need to introduce R equivalence. So determine this R equivalence only, we must know the network reduction technique. So directly we can't apply Ohm's law into a complex circuit. Larger circuit will have n number of resistance. Further, we need to use network reduction technique. With the help of a network reduction technique, we need to reduce that larger circuit into a simpler circuit and make that as an R equivalent. Finally, we need to introduce that R equivalent into a Ohm's law to determine the current. The obtained answer from an Ohm's law is said to be a total current only. Why? Because this current we are going to get from an equivalent resistance on a complex circuit. Now I am choosing a very simple circuit will have two loops. For this kind of a circuits, we are going to apply Ohm's law and determining a total current. As an example, I am taking this as 10 volt. This is 3 ohm, 6 ohm, 5 ohm and 8 ohm. So based on my logic, I have to choose the two terminals of each resistance and name it as starting and ending end, starting end and ending end, starting end and ending end, starting end and ending end. Now whenever we are going for a network reduction technique, we need to start reducing from the end resistance or least current flowing resistance. So for that, I'll give you another hint also. So an example, here I am having 10 volt. According to what we can check in the previous video also, we haven't changed this voltage while representing a equivalent resistance. We writing a voltage as like that, so that whatever the equivalence we are going to determine, which has to be connected with the source, so that is said to be a source current or a source resistance or a final resistance. From the source only we are going to get a total current. That is the actual concept from a Ohm's law. This total current, for a numerical purpose, I am saying it as an 100% current. This 100% current without any change passing through this resistance and is coming down and it is meeting at the junction. It is somewhat like water flow only. So here I am having a pipeline, here I am having a T-joint. Now we need to know at the T-joint my input is 100%, but at the T-joint this 100% is further divided into 50% as well as 50%. This 50% is straight away coming to the source and making the circuit to be closed, but this 50% only flowing through this and flowing through the another resistance. I'm coming back through this node only. It is going to connect it to the source, so that the least current flowing in the circuit is this two resistance only. Now I am checking it is of E and S combination. Whenever we have a starting end to ending end or ending end to starting end combination, then that resistance are called as a seriously connected resistance. If these two are connected in series, then we need to add those two resistance to get the R series equivalent. So this is the concept I have explained in the previous video. Now this is seriously connected, so I am naming it as a RSC. To get my RSC, I need to add this two resistance value 6 plus 8, and the answer is 14 ohm. So after determining this equivalence, again we need to rewrite the circuit diagram. Be careful, I will show you how to rewrite. I haven't touched this entire loop. So first you need to write that loop as like that. So my circuit will have this resistance values. This I haven't touched. Now instead of this two only, I am getting only one answer as 14 ohm. So that is said to be RSC. That RSC we can write on a horizontal side or a vertical side. It is our own wish only. For the compatibility purpose, I am writing it as like that. Either this direction or that direction. Both are same only. So I have connected with the existing circuit. And this is my RSC. And the value of the RSC is 14 ohm. Again here I am applying my starting end and ending end terminal concepts. You see, starting end and ending end. Now it is very visible. This 100% current, it is deriving into 250. So when compared to this, here only we have a least current flow, so that we need to start reducing from these two combination. It is starting to starting, ending to ending combination. Whenever we have starting to starting and ending to ending combination, in this sense, there we have a presence of a parallelly connected resistance. To get the equivalence of that parallelly connected resistance or parallel, we need to apply that logic. We need to take a product of these two, and we need to, on the denominator side, we need to summation of those two parallelly connected resistance. First is product, on the denominator side we need to add a summation of it.